Hello internets, it's been a little while since the last update. As you can see, we started priming the walls, but we had to stop and take a few steps back because we got a little ahead of ourselves. You'll notice that around the windows there's no molding. We took all the molding down because the way the old molding was up, you had a piece here and then the outside molding butted up against it and didn't overlap it. Furthermore, there was no plaster or lath underneath the molding, so it recessed it into the wall and the drywall butted up against it, which made it look really weird. So after a little research, decided I had to do it right. We took out all the molding around all the windows and around the door, and we drywalled out to the window. We're gonna get a piece here. We're also doing new sill plates underneath the windows, or stools. I believe those are called stools. And we're going to put the molding here and then overlap it so you don't see the seam. And that meant we would have had a gap here if we had not drywalled and brought it out. So the windows will look a little better, they'll look a little narrower, they'll just look better in general. We're nearly done with the plaster on that. You might also notice we have a new door. Here is the old door. You can see there's some cracks in it. This is a very thin panel here with just wood. Now this door is so old, it's actually a lot more narrow than modern doors. So, and the way they had this door installed, you'll notice here on the back, there's an older hinge where it's on the actual back of the door. It doesn't go through the middle of the door for the closing mechanism. So they had, right into the molding on the door, they had holes going right into the molding. So replacing all of that molding, you can see we put a new door, whole new frame, or new jamb. And I had to build out the jamb to come this way a little because we got, this is like a little over an inch of plaster and lath. And then you have actually rough sawn 2x4s in here. Might see a better, I don't know, I haven't covered it up, but basically that means they're actually 2 inches by 4 inches. They're not like modern 2x4s. So you can see the gap here. That's because the modern 2x4 is actually smaller than the rough sawn 2x4s. So it's hard to find a jamb that will cover that distance. So I had to build out the jamb to bring it out to where I needed it so everything's flush. But everything's in. My next step is to finish up the mudding and sanding, hopefully today. I just have a little touch-ups around the windows and around the door. And then I will be on to priming, followed by putting up the molding and painting. Time for another update. I have all of the plastering and taping done. I'm fairly happy with the finish. I think it's going to look really good once we get it painted down. It's nice and smooth. I also built out the jamb on this door with some wood and wood putty, and then I sanded it down with a very fine grit sandpaper, so you can't really tell there's a seam here once you're feeling it. I believe once it's all painted, it's going to look really good, especially with the molding on the outside. My next step is to come through. I got to get everything out of this room. A lot of it we don't need anymore right now. We're past the building phase into the fine finish phase. So I'm going to get it out to the garage. I'll keep some of the wood molding in here in the house, but once it's all out, I can vacuum up the floor, wash on the walls. There's a lot of dust from all the sanding. I'll be back soon once that's complete. Okay, I think that went pretty well. Next step is to vacuum up everything and then I can wash on the walls. Hey internet, it's time for another update. It's been a few weeks. I had a few projects outside I had to do that take over my last couple weekends, but As you can see, we did get the room completely primed. I do need a little bit more primer over in this area on this wall. I just ran out. And I gotta do the corners as well. But today's project is to spackle the ceiling. There's popcorn ceiling, so around the edges here, and obviously the big patches in the middle all need to be touched up to match the ceiling. And for that, I'm using this popcorn ceiling patch that I found. I've never done this before, but it looks pretty simple, so I'm gonna go at it and hope this matches up pretty well. And once that's all done and dried, we'll be on to painting and cutting molding for the windows and doors and getting that up. So, all right, internet, change of plans. So before I was going to use this popcorn ceiling mix to try to match the texture of the ceiling with red patch jet, but not really liking it, and it's not really the correct texture. This is stamped plaster, which is usually like rolled on when you stamp it with a flat brush. And that's popcorn ceiling, which has a grid in it. And they don't really match up. The color difference you could ignore, but the texture is completely off. And I really don't like either of them. So what I'm doing is going through with thin set, which is basically just plaster watered down. You mix it up really well, get a consistency of yogurt, or about thereof, and you lay it on in a thin layer. You can see I'm about halfway done with the first layer of thin set. And then I'm gonna go through again and smooth out all the imperfections. So these are actually pretty deep. For texture, they're really large and aggressive texture. So the first time I have these ripples, because I'm not an expert, I can't get this out in one go. And then the second time I come through, I'll take care of the ripples, because I'll just go the opposite way. So before I went this way, which causes the ripples go this way, now I'm gonna go that way, which will take out the ripples. So I think I got about another bucket and a half, maybe 2 buckets to get ready to go with this. But I think it's gonna be a huge improvement over this texture, which just looks outdated and it's hard to maintain really. You can't really clean this easily. At least with it flat, you can wash it down and even throw a layer of paint over it pretty easily if you ever need to repaint it. So I'm gonna hop on this and I'll be back for another update once I have this thin set on. All right, thin set is all on. I'm pretty happy with the results. The little darkness is where it's still drying, but it's very flat as you can see compared to before. I used about 4 buckets of joint compound, but I'm pretty happy with the results. And next steps are to clean up. I got quite a bit of dust here from where I was lightly sanding, and then wash on the ceiling, wash on the walls, just to get all the dust out of here, and then I can paint. So I'm gonna hop on that. I'll be back with periodic updates, so see you soon. Okay, got everything picked up off the floor, a few things in the closet, and I'm gonna start vacuuming. Let's do this. All right, I had to stop because vacuum was not really stuck in anymore. I'm pretty sure the filter is plugged. What with this fine dust. So let's take a look here. Oh yeah, look at that. It's kicked right in there. It just falls off. Yeah. Pretty sure I'm gonna need a new filter after this. Try to make this last a little longer, almost out of the room. And then throw a filter away and get a new one. All right. I think I should be good to finish. So, let's give it another try. All right, the vacuuming is all done. Next step is to wash on the ceiling and the walls, get the dust out of here, and then I can go through and I'm gonna lay down some PVA drywall primer, followed by some flat ceiling paint, white. So that's my next steps. I'm gonna get on it and I'll be back with more updates soon. Okay, the ceiling is all done. It's about 4 buckets of plaster, 1 coat or 2 coats of primer, and 1 coat of ceiling paint. See, it looks pretty decent. Much better than the textured ceiling we had. I got fan blades back on that I took down when I was doing ceiling, so I get some airflow in here while I work. This fan is temporary. It will be replaced with a nicer fan. We just got it really cheap, and it's good for working in a room because I'm not gonna want the same fan after all the dust and everything's in here. Over here, I'm working on the window. What I'm doing is I have these slats. They're just basic wood slats I've trimmed down and to get the right width. And I've sanded to make them look nice, and they're gonna go flush with this wall. On the bottom, I have a sill plate, which I have notched using a protractor along the wall to get the profile. I'm gonna have a 1-inch reveal on either side. So this will be in there like that. And then up here, get a hold of it, we have this like 1x5-ish material that will go in here and give us about a 1-inch reveal on the end. So this will look really nice. I'm gonna get to cutting up the rest of the boards to go all the way around the window and get them all nailed in. And then I can prime them and paint them. So I'll be back once I have a decent amount of work done. Oh, also, over here you can see our color we're going with. This is pure turquoise. It's a nice neutral color. Should work with any real kids' colors out there. So a lot of kids have colorful bedspreads or curtains. So this is a nice color that will go with reds, blues, yellows, greens, purples, pinks, pretty much anything. So yeah, should be a nice room once we get done, but I might hop on these windows, and then eventually the door over there needs molding around it as well. So be back soon. All right, it's been a while since the last update. Made a lot of progress. As you can see, All the color paint is on. All the trim is on and caulked, which was caulked before we painted. The molding around the windows is all on. Molding around the closet door. Down here, I had to level this off a bit for the carpet. There's about a good 1.5 inch, almost 2 inch sag across here. And well, the carpet wouldn't have been too bad. I wanted to bring it up a bit, so I brought it up about a good inch at least. You might be able to see here, there's a bit of a gap along the bottom of that molding, where that lighter wood piece is, just holding back the leveler. I'm pretty happy with how this trim came out. As you can see, get up close here, you can't really see any edge, any gaps in there because of the caulk. And I think it really pulls the whole room together having this molding on here. Now, right now, I'm just going through and cleaning the windows, got the screens on, we're gonna wash them down. Once this is dry, we'll get the measurements of the room, go get a carpet, and I got the door for the closet behind me, and I got the new ceiling fan. So we're in the final stretch, just a little bit more to go, and it'll be all done. Gonna get onto it. Okay, last update before the rug goes in tomorrow morning. I've gotten the entire room cleaned out, as you can see. And I've cleaned up around the radiator. And I've got a new ceiling fan in. The door was in. I took it out because we'll have to put in the carpet, but you can see here we have the track for the bifold door, and I put this 1/4 round molding around it which hides any gaps around the bifold door. In the closet you can see I have braces for what will be a shelf, and then we're going to have a clothes rod going across for hanging clothes up. So also I got a little stopper here to stop the door from going back into the bifold door. So the only thing left is tomorrow morning we're going to have the carpet come in, carpet guys come in, install the carpet, and then I can put the door back on, put the shelves on, the clothes rod up, and the room's done. So the next update will be a finished room. See you soon. Okay, time for the reveal. The room is all done. As you can see, the carpet really brought out the blue in the walls. Pulled the whole room together. And there's the new closet with the clothes rack and the shelf. Pretty happy with how this room turned out. I'm going to have more videos coming soon. Having a garage reno I'm working on, at least clean up, and a few other projects around the house. So see you again soon.